Play-Doh to Play-Doh and the STEM Laboratory, and today we're going to be talking about morning greetings. I love starting each day with a morning greeting because they're playful, they're fun, and they're a really natural, easy way to help every single child in class feel acknowledged and included. Morning greetings are also really great for teaching important social skills like having really good eye contact with the person you're talking to, participating in the group activity, using a kind tone of voice. The list goes on and on. So for many reasons, morning greetings are a wonderful start to each day. Now, today I'm going to be sharing 6 of my favorite morning greetings with you. I'm including a fun freebie for all of you at the bottom of this video. It's a morning greeting die. Sometimes you'll find that kids get a little stuck in the muck with morning greeting and it's just not quite as playful and exciting as it used to be. So if you print this off on cardstock and then glue the tabs together to make a cube, you can start each day by having the kids or having a volunteer roll the die and see what morning greeting lands on top. It's just an easy way to kind of step up the spice. Okay, let's get started with number 1, Willoughby Wallaby Woo. Now, I've included the words to each of these morning greetings in that download that I was talking about just a moment ago, but I also wanted to demonstrate them for you because if you're like me, you might see the words, but it can be hard to really get in your mind what it's supposed to sound like. So I'm going to model it for you, and then we will go from there. Okay, here's our little Willoughby Wallaby Woo elephant, and you can print this off in the freebie as well. I like to put him on cardstock. You can laminate him too for extra durability, and then just glue him on the back with some hot glue and a craft stick. Willoughby Wallaby Woo, an elephant sat on you. Willoughby Wallaby Wee, an elephant sat on me. Willoughby Wallaby, now we're going to start singing the song with the kids in class. So Willoughby Wallaby Wickolas, an elephant sat on Nicholas. Willoughby Wallaby Weena, an elephant sat on Tina. Willoughby Wallaby Wham, an elephant sat on Sam. And we'll keep going all the way around the room, putting the elephant over each kid's head. And then at the very end, we'll say, Willoughby Wallaby Weveryone, an elephant sat on everyone. That's the end of the song. Now, a really fun way to mix this up is to use the die that's also included in that free printable and roll a different letter. So instead of singing Willoughby Wallaby, you might sing Philloughby Follaby Foo and change the first letter of each child's name to the F sound instead of the W sound, or Rillaby Rollaby Roo and change the first letter of their name to the R sound. So let's move on to another of my favorites. It's called Who Stole the Cookie from the Cookie Jar? Now for this one, I like to have all of the kids stand up because you're going to be pinging from one student to the next, and it can be hard to see or track who's already been called on. So after each child has their turn, then I have them sit down so we can easily see who is still standing and needs to be called on. So I always start with the first person because the kids don't know, they don't know who's going to be called on first. So I would call on a student and I would say, Beth stole the cookie from the cookie jar. And then Beth would say, who, me? And the entire class would say, yes, you. And she'd say, couldn't be. And the class would say, then who? And Beth would call in another student, so she might say Sam. So the whole class would say, Sam stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Who, me? Yes, you. Couldn't be. Then who? And Sam calls somebody else. At the very end, when everybody's had a turn and everybody is sitting except for one student, the words change a little bit. So the class still says, George stole the cookie from the cookie jar. And he says, who, me? And we say, yes, you. And he says, could it be? It's true. And he's the one that took the cookie, which always makes the kids giggle and laugh. The Hello Friends song is a really fun one. It's very active, and it's great for those kids who like to be the center of attention. Because you know how you have a classroom made up of so many different personalities, and for those kids that like all eyes on them, they're going to shine in this one. So this is called Hello Friends. And I like to start it in a circle with everybody standing, again, so that we can easily see who's been called on and who still needs to have a turn. So I choose a student, probably one of those kids who really likes to have their eyes, all eyes on them, to go in the middle of the circle, and they say, Hello, my friends. How do you do? Watch what I can do. And then they do an action. It could be jumping jacks, it could be clapping hands, it could be tapping their knees. The rest of the class is watching, and then they say their name. So they'd say, hello, Sam. We'll do that too. And if Sam clapped his hands, they'll clap their hands too. Then I'll call the next person, and the next person will go. So again, the student in the center does the action, and the kids call it back. This next one is a simple twist on the classic children's book, Brown Bear, What Do You See? So to play, I have everybody sit in a circle. We're just going to go sequentially around the circle, so it's not as important to track who's gone before because it's really easy to see who's coming up next. And the class says the first child's name. So if we were starting with Beth, we would say, Beth, who do you see? And Beth would look at the person next to her, see the person, and then say, I see Terry looking at me. And then the whole class would say, Terry, what do you see? And Terry would turn to the person next to him and say, I see George looking at me. George, what do you see? I see Lynn looking at me. And go all the way around the circle. Next up, we have the hello song. Now, the hello song is another one of those activities that's sequential around the circle. So I just have everybody sit so that they're facing each other. And I choose a child and we all sing to that child first, and then we go around the circle. So it goes like this. Hello, Lynn. Hello, Lynn. Hello, Lynn. We're so glad you're here. And then we go to the next child in the circle. Hello, Grant. Hello, Grant. Hello, Grant. We're so glad you're here. All the way around. And finally, we have clap a friend's name. Now, this is an easy one to tweak and adjust as you find that kids want to kind of spice up the activity. So instead of clapping the friend's name, you could cricket clap, you could flap the friend's name, you could stomp the friend's name, you could hop the friend's name. The possibilities are really endless. Clap a friend's name with me, name with me, name with me. Clap a friend's name with me, let's clap Sam. And then we either would clap out the syllables if that's what we're working on. That's good for pre-readers who aren't quite reading but are starting to listen for those phonetic sounds. So you could say Sam, or if it was Elizabeth, you'd say Elizabeth, and it would have 4 claps. Or if you happen to have the child's name tag or name sticker handy, you can spell out the name. So you could clap S-A-M for Sam, or for Elizabeth, E-L-I-Z-A-B-E-T-H, lots of letters on that one, and spell it. So again, lots of variations. You can change the action, and you can also change the piece of the name that you're actually going to clap out. So today we've talked about 6 of my favorite morning greetings. I hope that they add playfulness and fun to your morning routine. Stay inspired.